Hello and welcome, guys. My name is Mutemwa and welcome back to this new year 2024. This year I haven't uploaded any tutorial, and because I had to take a break for the January to create as many ideas as possible and also work on my website and be able to be selling my presets and LUTs online. So the website will be ready from let's say 1st of February, and you'll be able to purchase my presets and actions online. And guys, without further ado, let's get into Photoshop. The other day I posted these amazing images right here, and many people asked me how I edited them. These are the raw images looked. And first of all, if you follow me, you know I'm really big at perfecting my images on shooting. And I use the 85mm lens. I sold all my lenses. I'm just running with the 85mm lens. Of course, the camera is the EOS R. I'm not leaving the Canon mirrorless system because it's really amazing. And of course, I use one light setup, AD400 with a 150cm softbox. And goes with no further ado, let's retouch this image. The first thing I'm going to do, I need to reduce the highlights slightly, and let's reduce the whites because I need the skin to be as neutral as possible. And let's darken this so that it can reduce the black so that it can darken the outfit. And I like how the image is looking right now. You can see one thing I normally do, I always try to perfect my images on shooting so that when it comes to Photoshop, I'm only retouching and just doing a few things here and there. This tutorial might be long because I'm going to do a lot on this image to just make it stand out. And you can see the dress is slightly blacker than how it looks on the original image. So let's reduce the blacks or just increase the shadows slightly there. I like how the image is looking. Let's just work on the white balance. So let's push this to something like 65, because if you want your images to look nice, make sure your temperature it's just slightly above 65. And when you come down here to tint, just push it slightly to get that neutral look. And for me, I like how the image is looking. I'm okay where it is right now. I'll just come right here and push the A's slightly so that I can get the saturation slightly. And let's reduce the DAs. We don't want it too much there. And then on the vibrance, come right here and push it up to somewhere like that. Perfect. I think the correction is looking nice. So we have a few yellows on the model skin. So what I'm going to do, let me just come right here and reduce the saturation let's reduce the DAs because we don't want it to be too much. DAs is mostly the same as contrast, just a different type of contrast. I'm not going ahead to I'm not sharpening this image. And if you want this camera settings to 85mm f2.8 shutter speed of 1/200, and the reason I shot it shutter speed of 1/200 is because of late I've been using ND filters so that I don't need to go to high speed sync, and it's working perfectly for me. So I just go ahead and right click and edit in Photoshop 2024. Open anyway. Just wait for Photoshop to open. This video will be long. I'm not going to skip anything. And guys, you can see we have our image right here in Photoshop. So the first thing I'm going to do, I need to crop this image to the Instagram size. So come right here and crop it to your Instagram size, because Instagram takes 4:5 or 8:10. So say okay. The next thing I'm going to do, I need to remove a few distractions on the background. So come right here and select your patch tool and then draw this, I don't know, it's a pole right here, and then edit, and then content aware. Perfect. And then come right here and let's remove this right there, and then edit, fill, content aware. Perfect. And then let's remove this. Yeah, let's see if it can go away. Edit, fill, content aware, because I have my own reasons why I need the sky as clean as possible. So that way I think it's okay. And then I'll just go ahead, because you can see the model has a few blemishes. Oh, let me just remove. There's a small tissue right here, and let's draw this right here, and then edit, fill, content aware. Perfect. And now after that, I'll just come right here. You can see the model has a few blemishes here and there. So what I'm going to do, I need to come right here and go to retouch for me, and let's retouch for me ill, because I don't need this video to be as long as possible. I don't need this video to be so long, so I don't need to remove all the blemishes by myself. So let's just select auto, and anything else I'll correct on post-production. I'll correct after it works with it. It removes a few blemishes here and there. So it's done. So I'll just come right here and select apply. Let's see how much it removes on the model skin, because yeah, I can work with that. And then I'll just come right here and Control J once. Let's come right here and select to my actions. Guys, I'll be selling these actions on my website starting 1st of February, so stay tuned. And this video will be premiering 1st of February, so still stay tuned. So come right here and even skin tone, and then select. You can see the skin tones. It is the highlights, the midtones, and this the shadows. So I'll come and identify the brightest place on our model skin and select. And then come right here in the midtone, select the place where the shadows meet with the highlights, select the midtone, and then come right here and select the darkest parts of your model skin, because that's what we're focusing with. So right here, and then say okay, and then say okay. My secret is I always disable this even skin tone, and then come right here and select subject. Okay, selected. So what does this? Create a layer mask right here, and then press Alt, and then drag it up like that, and then activate. You can see now the skin tone is all over, even on the model's outfit. So what I'm going to do, I'll pick my brush and make sure it's a soft brush and foreground color is black, or foreground color is black. Or if you want to interchange, press X on your keyboard and make sure now you create a mask. If you want to create a mask, press the slash tool on your keyboard, and just let's brush. Make sure the flow is at 100, opacity 100. Let's just brush this image as much as possible, because that we need to remove the skin tones on the outfit and any other place where it's not the skin. And I like this kind of photos because the model, there's just a few places where you need the skin tone, not the whole body. And this works perfectly if you know how to do it. You can see I'm removing it from any part of the model skin where I feel I really don't need that skin tone. I just need the skin tone on the skin. That's why it's called a skin tone, of course. Yep. Guys, hope you enjoyed anyway, we are actually settling in 2024, and this year is really promising. And yeah, any photography brand willing to give me a sponsorship, please DM me. I'm willing to collaborate or do anything to grow your brand and also to grow my brand here on YouTube. So let's reduce this. You can see I'm removing it from every single part of the model's skin, so that we just need it on there. And guys, these are full body image, so you don't need to do that high-end retouch, because people don't focus on the skin for this one. They focus on how you compose the image, how you retouch the image, and just everything, how you created this image. Now you can see that's my first layer, but that's evening the skin tone, which is of the makeup, to the other part of the skin, which there was really makeup. You can see like this neck area and the chest area. So what I'm going to do now, I need to add a legacy gradient so that I can have perfect tones which are used for black people. So what I'm going to do, I come right here and say even skin tone, but instead of sampling from the model skin, come right here and let's go to legacy gradient and select photographic toning, and then select this sepia antique. That's the one I use for all my skin tones, and then say okay. and then say okay. And if you noticed, my evening skin tone, what is it called, opacity is at 20 both for this. Sometimes I reduce it to 5 or 10 depending. So press Alt and drag it up, and you can see we have nice tones right there, and up to that point we're good. So what I'm going to do, I'll Control Shift Alt and E to create a merge layer, and then I'll Control J once and then Control J twice, and let's call this I frequency. What I'm going to do, and right now is doing frequency separation, is called this low frequency, right? Let's disable the I frequency and then select the low frequency, then go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and make sure the radius is at least 4 to 5. Let's say 4 is okay, because I shot this with a very low aperture, so the image is not like over textured, so you need to have a very nice you have to get the values of the blur perfectly. So come right here and select, activate the eye and select it, come to image, then apply image, and then layer, select low, and then make sure blending mode is at add, because I'm using a 16-bit image. So, and then come right here, because we need to get now the gray filter right here. So come right here and select invert, right, and then say okay. Let's change this to linear light, and let's create a black and white on top right here like this, and then reduce the reds so that we need to see the skin as much as possible. I zoom in my images because I said before on my videos I don't see so well, so I always have to zoom in. I don't see so far. So let's retouch this image. You can see I'm retouching on the low. So don't worry about these blemishes. I'm removing them immediately I'm done with the frequency separation. I'm not fast forwarding this because I need you to see how I normally retouch my raw images, and yeah, what, as I say, since I started this YouTube channel, or since I started doing tutorials, what matters are the results. It doesn't matter how you do your frequency separation. What matters are the results, and if they are appealing, trust me, you're okay, you are good to go. You can either do micro, dodge and burn. It depends on the time you have. So for me, I normally shoot clients and I don't have so much time, and I normally have so many photos to retouch, and yeah, at the end of the day you have to deliver to your clients. So let's see, I think we're doing okay. Let me just come down here and I remove all the blemishes. The one you feel like they are remaining, you will just remove them after we are done with the frequency separation. So let's retouch these other parts of the model skin. I think she has a breakout, but she really a really nice model. I've been working with her for some time. Yeah, for me, I call my clients my models, so because I always try to term them as models. I don't term them as clients because I do this. I'm so passionate about photography, so I don't see it as like I'm doing it to just deliver you photos. I do it to create content, more of it, but at the end of the day what comes is the reward, which is money, and money is good. So I think let's just retouch this here like that. So guys, I'm just showing you how I normally edited this image. If I was editing now, I could have perfected it even more, but I'm just showing you how I really retouched these images because I got this request for long. And let me just put all this in a group, the low, high and low, and then create a group, and let's rename this FS, frequency separation, and let's do before and after. You can see there's a slight difference. What I'm going to do now, I'll zoom in slightly and come right here and select my lasso tool and make sure at least the feathering is 17 because these are full body image. So let's draw the face like this. like that, and then go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Make sure it's selected on the low, and make sure let's say 8 right there, not so high, just right here. These are full image. It's all about making the image appealing, not over retouching your image, because if you over retouch your images, they look fake and plastic like, and they won't have that natural glow. So filter. Okay, now after that, I'll come right here to the eye texture, zoom in your image, and let's pick the clone stamp tool, and then go ahead and remove all these blemishes. Guys, I'll just fast forward this and see you immediately after I'm done with the blemish removal. So let me see if you can see the before and after. Before frequent separation, after frequent separation. So I see there is a slight difference. So I think I'm okay. I'll leave the image as that at that point. And now the next thing I need to do, I'll just come here, open the frequent separation, and let's just smoothen the hair slightly. Just slightly like this. Just slightly, not so much. You don't need to over retouch the hair to just make the image stand out. Hey guys, I'm going to do everything, even how I color graded this image, because the goal is to just understand how you can shoot and retouch your images to just look amazing and stand out. So see before and after, before and after. And this video might come out earlier depending on how I'm feeling, but I think, yeah, I think it might. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I need to create a new merge layer of everything I've done. So Control Shift Alt and T to create a merge layer, and then I'll just select on the model's armpits, because I need to come here, draw like this. And let's go to generative fill and say remove hairs, or just hair. Let's see if this works. This normally takes time, but I'm not fast forwarding this video because I want you to learn how this works. And something about this updated Photoshop, it's really making work easier. And you can see it has removed, depending now which one you want to choose, which one works for you. I don't like it brings an eye there. Let's see. I think the first one was okay, or the second one. Let's see the first one. The first one is okay. I can work with that. So let me show you the before. This is how it looks before, and this is how it looks after you have removed the hair. So I'll Control Shift Alt and T to create another merge layer, right? And then come right here and also say remove hair, then generate. If you have fast Wi-Fi, this works perfectly, as long as what you have prompted, it really matches with what you really want it to happen to your picture. I think that's perfect. Yes, so let's see which one is okay. I think that the second one is okay. So let me show you the before and after, so I can work with the second one. It's better for me. There's no hair. So I'll just come right here and Control Shift Alt and T to create another merge layer, and then come right here and draw on this line right here, and then edit, fill, content aware. This should fill automatically with a nice, yeah, like that. This looks nice. Let me see before and after. That's okay for me. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I need to do some dodge and burn, but before that, let me just come here and remove these pins because I think they were holding these flowers right here. So pick your healing brush tool, just pick any that you feel now it's remaining on your model's skin. I think there's some dirt in my screen, so like that. Let's remove these slightly remaining blemishes on the model's face. Okay, but the goal is not over editing. We really traveled a lot and she had done the makeup slightly earlier, but that doesn't matter. It all matters is how you capture the image. Don't concentrate so much on makeup. Focus on the whole image as a whole, how the model, what the model is wearing and everything. Now I don't need to put everything in a group so far, but you can see how many layers we have done so far. So the next thing I need to do, I need to Control Shift Alt and T and create another merge layer, and then let's zoom in slightly. Then I need to liquify here to just make the hair more straight and everything look amazing. So go to liquify. Just go ahead and zoom in the image slightly. Just go ahead and zoom in again. Then let's raise this hair somewhere here, like that. Yeah, I think I like how this is looking right now. And then this hairline, make sure it's looking amazing. You need to make sure everything is looking amazing. So let me know where you need me to change. I'm trying to be just to talk as fast as possible, but make sure you understand, because you need, it's all the ideas. You need to get something from this video and maybe apply on your work. So say okay and just press enter for sometimes if your Photoshop is doing like mine. This a problem with the Photoshop 2024. I don't know what's going on, but I think this is working. Okay, now you can see how much the liquify does before and after, before and after. So Control Shift Alt and T to create another merge layer with the liquify, and then come right here to my actions and run the micro dodge and burn. And let's just create the invert check layer so that you can see the shadows and the highlights. Open the invert check layer, and on the levels, right click there, right click to open, and then drag it inside like this. Perfect. And then come right here, open the dodge and burn, and select dodge only because I prefer dodging first. So make sure your flow of your brush is at 1, and let's try it a soft brush. Foreground color is white, and just brush the dark parts. We're using the invert layer. The dark parts are the whites, are the highlights, and the white parts are the shadows. So you need to do this perfectly, and don't take so much time with this because you don't need to overdo it. So I'll just blush, add this blush right here, and add this other blush right here with add blush with a brush. Ish. Blush with a brush. Okay, like that. Perfect. This is really I feel this looks okay. Let me just add, let's disable the invert check layer and see how much we have done. Yeah, you can see there's that tone there, like the highlight is popping. Let's just add the highlights, some dark parts on the model skin, just brighten it. Yeah, I like how that's looking so far. Perfect. Now let's see before and after, before and after. You can see there's the glow on the model's hair. I have enhanced that because I needed it to look amazing. Let's delete the invert check layer, then Control Shift Alt and T to create another merge layer, right? And then come right here, and then let's Control J again, and then select subject. if you select subject, and let's say for example you just create a layer mask there of the subject, and then activate the subject, and before you do that, make sure you select the whole of the subject with the car, because we need to work on the background alone, like that, right? Let's just up to that point, then Control J once. Okay, so Control Shift Alt, and no, just press again on this subject right here, right? And then make sure you Control Shift and high, so that you can invert the selection, and then Control J once again. So what we're going to do now, we need to work, let's disable, let's say like I can disable all these layers. Let me just put everything right here in a group, like that. Okay, everything in a group. Where is it? From here. So let's put that in a group, and let's disable even the background. So what I'm going to do, I need to work on this sky, and what I'm going to do, let's select the only thing I'm working on is I've disabled every other single layer, because I don't need, when I'm maybe requesting the sunset, I don't need to be on the model or anything else. I need it to be specifically on the sky. That's why I disabled, and I did this just the same way we clean backgrounds for studio. It's the same way I'm doing it for here. So click this video up here if you want to see how I clean my background. So come right here and select the sky. Let's select with the patch tool. Select the sky like that, and then generate fill, let's say fill with a sun, with a golden, fill with a golden hour sky, and then generate. I need the sky to have that golden hour sky, because we shot at golden hour, but the sky were slightly gloomy, so I didn't really get that, but I needed to add it on my images, and I hope this generates what exactly I want, because Photoshop never generates the same thing twice, but I hope it really does. Let's wait for it to work. I'm not fast forwarding this video. We have to work with what Photoshop gives us. Yes, I think we have something. I think we have nice. Yes, I like this one. Which one? Let me see. Which one? Let's work with this. This looks nice, though it doesn't bring that sunset perfectly, but I like how it looks. It has that sunset vibe. So what I'm going to do now, I'm enabling everything. Yes, yes, yes. I've just enabled everything, and I've created this, and you can see we have now that sunset feel, though it really didn't come out how I really wanted it, but that's the importance of Photoshop. You can do anything nowadays with Photoshop, and I just added down that sunset feel, so it looks amazing. You can see how, and the sun is somewhere here. So what I'm going to do now, I'll just Control Shift Alt and T. Yes, and I need to crop this to be not to have that much head space, but you can see how much difference it brings on our image. Or let's just leave it at that point. Perfect. Now the next thing I'm going to do now, I need to color grade this image. So select selective color. Okay, so let's work on the reds, and let's push the reds to this side. Let's zoom in our image slightly. Let's push the reds to this side, and let's come right here and let's push the yellows to this side slightly there, and then come right here to yellows, push the cyans to that side, and then let's push the yellows to this side slightly, not that much, and then come to blacks. Let's push the blacks to this side slightly, like -2, and let's push the yellows of the blacks to like -2 and -5. Okay, Now let's see the before and after. Here is the before and here is the after. Here is the before and here is the after. The next thing I'm going to do now, I'll just Control Shift Alt and T again, because every time, if I don't want to lose that that effect I added on my image, I always create another merge layer of everything, and then come right here and select color range, and then I'll just select the green. If your picker tool looks like this, just press caps lock on your keyboard and it will come back to normal. And I need to work on the green. And if you want the selection to be more visible, add the fuzziness like this, like that. Okay, I don't need to select the skin, so like that. And then what I'm going to do now, after it has selected the greens, I'll just come right to selective color, and let's make sure it looks nice. So let's work on the green to make sure it looks exactly what we want. And then come right here, the yellows, and let's push it. But I can see it's really affecting my skin. Let's see if it's affecting the skin so much. Let's push it. No, this actually too much. Let's reduce the opacity as much as possible. I think at that point the image is looking nice. So let's see what else we need to work on before we retouch the eyes. So come right here and select brightness and contrast. Make sure you press use legacy, and let's push this inside slightly so that now it can bring the contrast as much as possible. Perfect. Nice. Now I like now it's popping. I'm not going to small details because I have already edited these images. It's just showing you how I made these images stand out. So Control Shift Alt and D to create another layer, because you don't want to lose the brightness and contrast. And come here, pick your brush healing tool, and let's clean this car to just make it look amazing. And let's clean everything right here like this. I think the car is clean, but you can always make it cleaner. Make sure the foreground color is white right here. If it's green, always click and drag it to the white area to make it look amazing. And I said I'm not skipping, so if you followed this tutorial from the start, hope you learned a thing or two, because a photo, you can change a photo from not looking so nice to make it look really amazing and make it stand out. And all thanks to Photoshop. And hope Photoshop sponsors my video, because I've been using Photoshop for so long and I haven't gotten any sponsorship on my YouTube channel, and I hope I'll get one soon. I'm very hopeful. This year should be an amazing year. I'm very hopeful. I like the tones on this model skin tone, because I really liked how these tones are, and also how the sky is complementing the tones. So I'll Control J once and select subject. And when I'm selecting the subject, because the subject is in the same place as the car, so I have to select the car too. So I have to enhance the car like that. The selection to select the car too. No, not on the grass on the foreground, because we will use that later. I think at that point is okay, but we need to work on the background. So what I'm going to do now, I'll just Control Shift and I to select the background, and then Control J once. This called image subject or subject background separation. So convert it to smart object. You can click this video up here if you want to check how my image subject or subject background separation in depth. So I've done that before. Come right here and select camera raw filter. So what we're going to do, you can see this place where there's no effect, that's the subject which we masked. So what we're going to do now, let's go to effects and let's add a slight vignette right here like that. Let's make the midpoint, the roundness and the feathering to be as slight as possible. and say okay. And you can see it works on the background. And the reason you can see it's dark, it's late, like it's that day, the model of this sunset is like it's late night. No, it's not late, it's late in the evening. So the darkness has already started coming in. And let's say this like what is it called, like it's that gloomy day, so it's like a rainy day and the darkness started coming, but the sunset is still setting there, so you can see the feel of the image. That's what I needed to create. And let's just put everything in a group and show you how much I've done. Let's say full workflow, call this full workflow. Okay, now with that, let's disable the full workflow and see how much we have done to this image. That's how the image looked after, just direct from Lightroom. And this now how the image looks after Photoshop. Thank you so much, Photoshop, for always coming through with as many creativity as possible. You can be as creative as possible in Photoshop and get a photo from 0 to 100 as fast as possible. And Photoshop should sponsor me. I use Photoshop so much. And yeah, you can see before and after. Before, okay, this is the before and this is the after. Hope you learned something from today's video, and hope this video was worth it, was worth your time. And just watch the whole video and learn something, and see you in the guys. I'm almost missing one slight bit, and that's whitening the eyes. So I'll come right here to my actions and select eyes and teeth whitening, and let's zoom in slightly. And then let's whiten the eyes right here, and not so much. You can see that I still have the texture on the model's face, but we don't have so many blemishes because these are full image. You don't need to over retouch it. Perfect. And then I can just go ahead and throw like a contrast. Let's reduce the opacity of the eye and teeth whitening slightly, and come right here and let's throw a light contrast right there, and then invert the layer mask, and then let's just brush it slightly on the subject like that, to just make the image stand out. Perfect. Let's reduce the opacity slightly, and yes, boom. Put everything now in a group, and now complete workflow. So my only worry is I wish there's a way you can pick this complete workflow and add it to another Photoshop. I'm also trying to learn if that's possible to another photo. I'll be doing that to as many photos as possible. So this is the before. This is how the image looked when we brought it here in Photoshop, and this is how the image looks after we have done all that. Hope you learned something in this video, and hope this is my first video to get 100,000 views. I'll be very happy. Let's start this year on a high note, and yeah, see you in the next video, and I'm out.